Are you a seventh dimensional Palladian starseed who is currently in this runner-chaser dynamic with your twin flame, and you don't really understand why there's so much hate and anger in the world when everyone really just needs to ascend to their fifth dimensional selves? If you said yes to all this, you're spiritual bypassing. What is spiritual bypassing? It is a form of escapism that is similar to drugs, food, anything that takes you away from the present moment, okay? Now, it's essentially using spiritual concepts to avoid reality and encountering uncomfortable truths, all right? Now, spiritual bypassing is a huge issue within the spiritual community right now. Why is it so prevalent? Well, people who go through spiritual awakenings oftentimes have a pretty heavy history of trauma, all right? And spiritual awakenings bring us to these greater realities, and they expose us to these greater truths. We experience some greater connectedness, right? But at the same time, at some point, you do have to go back and deal with the trauma that is inherent in your body, okay? But spirituality and these concepts become a very easy thing to latch onto, to not have to go into it, right? You can say that everything's all love or all connectedness without actually having to experience the negative side effects of being here in this physical plane, all right? Spiritual bypassing is essentially a mental exercise that takes you away from being embodied physically, all right? It's essentially any time when you start noticing something uncomfortable in your internal environment, you shoot that awareness up into your head and come up with some spiritual concept to escape having to feel the discomfort or internal pain that is coming from within. So what are some signs of spiritual bypassing? Avoiding negative emotions and displaying toxic positivity. Displaying toxic positivity is essentially your sole focus is only on positive emotions. And any time any negative emotions come up within yourself or someone else, you downplay it. Anytime there's hardships of other people, you relate it back to, oh, it's all great, it's all love, it's fine, don't worry. But what you're doing is you're invalidating that person's experience. Another one is over-identification with spiritual labels or spiritual ego. A lot of people think they're enlightened or woke once they hit a spiritual awakening, but what is actually going on is people's egos then just attach and identify themselves as spirituality. And we'll have these labels like indigo, starseed, light worker, all these things. They're not necessarily bad, right? Okay, it's part of this process. But when we over-identify it and when we use it as a way to feel that we're superior to everyone else, right, then it becomes an issue. Then you're bypassing the human experience. Over-researching spiritual concepts, not actually learning or integrating these concepts into this plane, into this reality, is another sign of bypassing. Also, overuse of practitioners that take us away from the now moment, right? So using psychics, using mediums, using past life regression therapy, they're fine in moderation in a sense if that's something you're interested in. But overusing them to the point where you're not focused on the now moment, where you're not focused within your present environment, it becomes another form of escapism, all right? Oftentimes people are spiritual bypassing when they use meditation to leave their body and disassociate. These are like past life regression meditations, Akashic meditations, astral projection, okay? Once again, it's part of the process. It's okay in moderation. And it's a cool thing to experience after an awakening. But when you stay in this zone for too long, you're not embodied. You're not experiencing the physical environment, okay? If you notice yourself leaving constantly any time that you go to meditate, right? You're actually using meditation in an unhealthy way. So how do we heal spiritual bypassing? Little disclosure, I spiritual bypassed. I needed to. I wasn't ready to go into my trauma. But there came a point in my process where I had to go back in. I fought it, I resisted it. But after I experienced these universal truths that were so important for me, I had to ground them into this reality. So how do we do that? Start seeking counselors, therapists, or coaches that are familiar with the spiritual awakening process. You have to have someone that can ground you in this reality, that can lead you through feeling negative emotions, that can lead you through feeling some of these experiences, but who's also aware of the spiritual awakening process and not shame you or make you think you're crazy for encountering what you're going through. We also have shadow work, witnessing the ego. Start noticing when you attach yourself to these spiritual labels. Start noticing when you feel like you're superior because you're quote unquote more woke than everyone else, because you're quote unquote more aware, right? Become the observer, just watch it, and then forgive yourself. But it's very important to notice when we start to feel we're better than other people because we may have had an awakening before they did. Also, grounding. You have to be grounded. Do any activity that takes you out of your head. This could be hiking, going through nature, exercising, playing with pets, okay? Feeling your feet on the ground. Anything that keeps you out of your head. Anytime you feel you shifting that energy up to your head when you feel discomfort in your internal environment, notice it and shift it back down. And that's why somatic healing and somatic meditations are so important. These are body mindfulness meditations. It's not about escaping your reality or disassociating when you meditate, but actually bringing your awareness to different points in the body, noticing where you're storing traumas at different points in the physical body. So your entire internal environment becomes easier to exist within, and there's not as much need to bypass through spirituality. The very last thing is all this researching you did of spiritual concepts, of 5D, aliens, right? It's all super cool. Integrate them. How does that look in the third dimension? Love and light, all that stuff, that's great. That's not what's happening here right now. The world is not full of love and light, right? So you running around screaming full of love and light, you're in a state of disillusion. How does that look in this reality? You have to embody it. You have to work and feel the darkness within yourself, feel the darkness within your society, and then still find that love and light, find that oneness, find that connectedness within it. You can't escape into it. You have to embody it right here, right now. All right. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow my Instagram account, which is listed in the description. I appreciate anyone who watched this video. Be sure to keep watching. Thanks, guys.